Welcome to UK Explored, where we go inside some of the areas across the UK where most people don't. In this video, we're following on from last week's video where I showed you two of the most dangerous areas in Walsall by highlighting two of the poorest, most deprived areas in Walsall, and these areas are Pleck and Darlaston. Starting in Pleck, the stats for this area are pretty shocking, and it really hits home how some of the poorest areas have been plunged further into poverty as a result of the current economic climate here in the UK. Pleck is listed as the third poorest estate across the whole of the Black Country, so that's a pretty clear indicator of just how bad things are. Sadly, more than 1 in 3 children across Walsall are living in poverty, within families struggling to meet their basic needs, and that's only going to be a higher number in Pleck. Demographically, the majority of residents in Pleck are Asian, and it's mostly a Muslim population. As you can see from the shopping districts, there are lots of shops catering to the community. There are lots of takeaways and places to eat, but doing my research before I went to Walsall, I discovered that Walsall has the lowest average food hygiene rating for the entire country. So I skipped playing roulette with the runs and took a packed lunch. I came across several pubs and local businesses that have closed their doors, which is always sad to see, and again hits home just how much the area is struggling and possibly changing. On a positive note, there are some good community services operating in the area. This is Pleck Library and Community Centre, where they offer courses to help residents improve their English, among other things. Pleck also has a decent amount of green space and a large allotment, but for the most part the communal areas are overrun with litter and have been trashed. Here are some shots of Walsall Canal, for example. I don't think I need to describe the condition it's in, as you can all see for yourselves. I checked out some reviews online, yes, people actually review canals, to see if it has gone downhill recently, but people were talking about seeing shopping trolleys, general house waste, used nappies and drug paraphernalia and all that sort of stuff dumped in there going back years. On the topic of litter and fly tipping, which is a theme across Walsall, where there are anti-fly tipping signs, there is usually always some junk, and this was a pretty big haul. Just look at how many laptop bags there are, right? That's weird. I also saw the usual collection of fridge freezers, mattresses and furniture on my walk around the estates. Pleck isn't the most dangerous area. It has about half the crime rate of Blakenall, but it's far from being a safe area. What really got me was reading an interview in a local paper with a long-time resident of Pleck, and when I asked what she thought of the area, she said, quote unquote, "It doesn't look too bad. We have drug problems. Used syringes are left lying around." I mean, when does that become acceptable or the norm? Seriously. Anyway, as I was filming this burned up building, someone asked what I was doing and went on to tell me that it was an insurance job. I couldn't confirm that reading the news, but I did see headlines about this former nursing home being set on fire. That guy also wanted to look at our footage to see if we'd filmed him and his car in the background, which we had done, and he made us delete it. He said he didn't want to be seen in this area online, so I don't know what kind of dodgy things he was up to, but whatever, that's fine. One of the surprising things about Walsall is the price of housing. According to Rightmove, the average house price for Pleck over the last year was in the 176,000 range. Not far behind Pleck in terms of poverty is Darlaston, and in particular Darlaston Green. Darlaston is predominantly a white area, which is a very different demographic from Pleck, but walking around Darlaston I saw much of the same as I did in Pleck. There was a lot of litter, large items fly tipped, and signs of drug use not very well hidden in bushes and dumped on the roadside. I want to add at this point, though, that the problems that come with living in a deprived household run much deeper than simply being broke or not being able to afford luxuries. Poverty negatively impacts families in a number of ways, and tragically it has a huge impact on children in particular. It affects everyone's physical and mental health in the household, the kids' education, future job opportunities, and just about every aspect of a person's life. According to the government, they are doing a long list of things to try and alleviate poverty in the UK and to ensure that a better distribution of financial resources, as they put it. Yet it's estimated that around 22% of the population are living in poverty. In the Black Country, that number is closer to 40%. And although I couldn't get an exact number for Darlaston, it's fair to assume that it's even higher than 40% here, which is just crazy to think of. Darlaston town centre came as a bit of a surprise to me. It looks like a decent sized shopping district, yet even for early afternoon on a Saturday, it was a ghost town. The only people I saw on the main street were day drinkers. The bulk of the main shops that are open were discount shops, takeaways, booze shops, vape shops, and places to gamble. And that just about sums up what they're targeting here. I saw a few of these sort of scenes. What's up with taping off fly tip stuff and turning it into an enviro crime scene? It seems like that takes up more resources than simply having someone take it away, right? Darlaston has a pretty lofty crime rate as well of 122. That means there's 122 crimes reported for every 1,000 residents. That's pretty high, and that makes this a dangerous area to be in the wrong places at the wrong times. Interestingly, and this is quite telling of the economic problems in the area, there's a higher number of vehicle crimes, criminal damage and theft than there are antisocial crimes, which isn't typical. For the privilege of living in Darlaston, you can expect to pay around $108,000 on average. And that just about wraps this one up. This was a look at two of the most deprived areas in Walsall, which also happen to be two of the most deprived areas in the country. All comments and feedback are welcome. Have an awesome day.